12:03 on the oil stream. Thank you very much for being here on a Monday. The Monday before the season begins. Right? We're just over a week away from having games for real.
Yeah.
I'm so done with the preseason and people's overreaction to preseason. I lost it a bit today just after 7 o'clock.
Thoroughly enjoyed your response.
Well, enough's enough already. Like
the Kulak to allow Regula and Lepinin play. Really? Really? Guys.
Preseason might be when Oil fan is craziest. Like everybody should make the team. Like, Szymanski should be on the team, and like I get it, but these guys, it's very much a positive.
Yes,
that they've looked good. But we have to remember they're playing against other guys like them who probably shouldn't be in the NHL either. So until we see who gets to stick around and maybe play a preseason game right before the season where it's almost the entire roster and one or two new guys. I don't think you can have a championship season start with 5 rookies in the lineup. I think Hernan's going to dive into that on EST Afternoons today. Like,
I can't wait.
How many of the last 10 Stanley Cup champions had 4 or 5 rookies in their lineup to start the year? I'll be stunned if that answer is 1 or more. So you got to be. You just have to be careful. And the Oilers aren't going to have that many rookies in lineup to start the year, but. Anyway, it's the Oil Stream brought to you by Boston Pizza. Kids eat free for the next couple of days, and then they'll have a new promo in October.
I'm sorry.
So take advantage of the kids eat free thing.
I'm sorry.
Why do you need to go there? I did a rant this morning that's going to be in the mix for an SD already. I don't need to go back there again.
I love it. I will have to go back and listen to it again.
Come on. I mean.
Because I get a kick out of those. It's good that we're excited to initiate a trade of a guy who's been in the NHL for a decade and is a proven solid NHLer, and to suggest moving on from him, especially on your defense, to make room for Alec Regula, who has 22 games under his belt and has missed a full season, and Lepinin, who has come over from Finland, is absurd. It's absurd. You know what Regula and Lepinin are going to be? Good AHL defensemen that continue to progress and at some point might get called up. Yeah. And that's exactly what you want.
They could be pretty reliable call-ups.
Watching the last 2 games on Friday and yesterday, observing, being there, I thought to myself, this is the thought I came up with. Talking with Reed, we're watching the game. Maybe the shelves aren't so bare with some of these signings. And I think that's good.
That would very much be a positive. These signings weren't really made, with maybe the exception of Tomaszek, but these signings weren't really made for this year. They were made because they have no picks. Their cupboard was pretty much the barest in the league.
Yeah.
And maybe they have found a way with the Szymanskis and with Lepinin, and maybe they found a way to start to stock those up a little bit, showing that it is possible to have some possible youth movement in the organization without having to have 2 firsts, 2 seconds, and 2/3 or something like that, So those are all positive steps. I just think we're kind of getting these are things that I've seen on Twitter like the last 4 days here in the preseason.
Okay.
Trade Kulak to make room for Lepinin.
Craziness.
Knobloch should be fired if Henrique and Janmark are in the lineup to start the year. All he's known is going to Stanley Cup Finals.
That's a crazy
Szymanski
statement.
should start the year in Edmonton.
Also
I don't know where he would fit in. Philp is being treated like he's a bottom 6 savior as opposed to a guy who could probably be an okay 4th line center for you. And then obviously Skinner, everybody hates him already. So it's just like we are so back, and I've got a bold prediction. I'll give you a bold. It says right here. I have it on my notes. We're out of 2 colors of ink on the printer, and Iwanik's not here this week.
He's off this
week. So I'm going to have to go figure out toner. We went with the toner printer, not the, I don't know. I got to go buy toner this afternoon. I don't even know where to go. Probably Staples must have toner for these big, like the big toner for printers.
I would imagine it has it.
Anyway, but I usually use like the smaller ink.
Yes.
Not the toners.
Right.
So I'm all stressed about that.
Don't be. So
I have a prediction. You're not going to, well, you might love it.
Try me.
You might not. Here's my prediction, everybody. This is going, and this is tough to say, considering some of the things we've seen since I started in this city in 2009, but this will be the most toxic year on Oilers Twitter and post games than we have ever seen. That we have ever seen.
Quite bold, Dusty.
I think I'm going to stand by that because they've been to back-to-back Stanley Cup finals.
Yeah.
If they are remotely close to doing that again, and McDavid hasn't re-signed, like there's no extension yet. The Skinner hate has built up for years and on their off season, and they didn't do anything about it. I think this could end up being an absolute cesspool and tire fire of a season online and in your post-game show chat.
I
think it could be as nasty as we've ever seen. And maybe I'm wrong, maybe it's not, but I'm already like, oh, this could be a pretty interesting year online, man. It really could. So,
yes, to it being a pretty interesting year online. The most toxic, I don't know, but the storm clouds are brewing from your observation. And listen, I've done a good job of being able to disconnect after preseason games. I get my information, and I haven't had to hook in like I will in a week and a half on the 8th. And let me tell you, it's been great for the soul. But I love hearing it secondhand. I love hearing the follow-up on your show. I shake my head at some of the absurdities, but I'm not surprised. And I'm like, all right, here's what we're going to tackle today.
It's go time.
There was a moment last night. There was a moment last night where a camera, after the Coots goal, shout out to local product Braden Coots, after that bank shot went in.
Oh no, where'd the camera go?
And the camera went to, I think it was a crowd shot or it was the Oilers bench.
I was watching the game at this time. I must not have been paying attention.
There was like this couple that maybe like late 20s, early 30s, both in Oilers gear. The guy and the girl had this look of dejection on their face. And we're talking about game 6 of the preseason. I'm like, really, guys? Really? And listen, maybe it was a 2-second clip and they caught them at the wrong time, but they honestly were like staring towards the Oilers net and had this look of dejection as they're like, oh, maybe this one's going to slip away, and Skinner lets it go again. But I thought to myself, yep, I think that sums it up right there. And we're at game 6 of the preseason. Another game which they won coming off a shutout performance. And as somebody pointed out, Calvin Pickard with a 0.00 GAA and a 1,000 save percentage. So anyway, there was that. And it was James in the nasty chat that said, was the kid line from the 90 Cup all rookies? The answer is a wholehearted no. Joe Murphy already had a couple of years, or at least he was over 100 games before he got to Edmonton. I think that was the trade for Jimmy Carson. He was the first overall pick in 86, I do believe. Yep. And then Adam Graves had also played about 65 games before the trade, was with Detroit, played closer to 80 games. So he had about a season's worth of NHL experience under his belt. Marty Jelena, I'm just looking at it now, before 89, 90, only had 6 games in the NHL, but he was a pretty good high-end prospect. So, no, they weren't all rookies, and it takes time, and no, championship caliber teams do not have 4 or 5 rookies on their team. Let's say you get through this year, and next year, your third line is Savoy, Philp, and Howard. We can still call them the kid line. Yes.
Even though they played a little bit.
And
already,
one of them's
right?
27.
Yeah. so there's that. You can text us at 780-218-9999. Anyway, my prediction is this could end up being one of the most toxic online years for the Oilers, maybe ever.
I can't even say no to that because the possibility of that happening is very real. So, Dusty, serenity now, my friend, and, buckle up.
Todd Gack texted in all caps, you know what, Dusty? You can go to hell. Todd Gack, I know you're being hilarious. Or I think you're being hilarious. This is that Anakin Skywalker and Padme. Remember that, meme
the meme,
where it's like, I'm going to kill, and she's like, huh. And then
Yes.
That's a pretty funny one, actually.
Gak. What is that? Dutch?
Yeah. This one is in, says, could be as toxic as being at the Ryder Cup in New York. Look, man, I'll throw this out there.
That was something.
It kind of is already as toxic as the Ryder. Like, you go online after, people are swearing at each other. Like, it's vicious. It is vicious.
Joaquin, when he did his segment this morning, I think if you were listening intently, hopefully this sunk in. He was talking about 95 and the Oilers. He said he thought they went 8-1 in that preseason. Whatever. They had a good preseason. They thought they'd be world beaters. They got their asses kicked in game one or one of the first games of the year by the Red Wings because they had to play a lineup of all NHLers and damn good ones. And that was just to underscore how meaningless the preseason is. And then he added to his reasoning, all the guys that we've seen roll through here have tremendous sterling preseasons, only to go on to have mediocre to subpar actual NHL seasons. So it's a little bit silly if we're getting that toxic. I'll include myself in there and us as media at this point. Now, if we're talking about Game 12 and the Oilers have a losing record and going into the second month of the season and people are screaming and crying for Zach Hyman to save the season, a little bit different story. But as of right now, feels like it's going to be okay.
All right. 780-218-9999. 780-218-9999. Over on the Nasty Chat. Hey, if you're watching on YouTube today, smash the thumbs up for us. Sub to the channel if you haven't already, on Twitter or youtube.com/@Yeg Sports Talk. If you're listening on iHeart or wherever, youtube.com/@Yeg Sports Talk. And we'll get to a few of these. AmishMan19 says, "Are we all happy that preseason games take this long? It's so enjoyable and so many things to talk about that surely matter." That's a good one.
Well played.
Rusty Knuckler says, "Talk about the terrible coaching choice to go with the nuclear option in the freaking preseason."
I still don't understand.
Well, they're going with it in the preseason because they're starting with it in the regular season. And
sounds like it.
I'm so sick and tired of talking nuclear, non-nuclear, nuclear, non-nuclear. Like, first of all, it wasn't even nuclear last year.
No.
Last year was just better than other options.
Correct.
But I saw Canucks fans online today saying, we took barely an NHL roster to Vancouver and dominated that team when those two guys weren't on the ice.
Well, they did lose. And when they weren't on the ice, it was much more even. You want to talk about being silly and crazy in preseason. If that's what the Canucks
I saw those takes today too.
That's a bit silly.
I have to stop clicking on my For You thing on Twitter.
For You is
I think
horrible.
It automatically takes you there when you open it up or something, because I'll be scrolling through and I'm like, why am I seeing all these horrible takes?
Yeah.
And then I'm like, oh, I'm on the For You and not the
correct
and not the following.
Yeah. For You is awful. And notice how you like try to slide it over to following and it kind of keeps it there for a bit, but then every few days it ends up back on For You and you're like, stop it. Twitter sucks. I'm just going to say that.
Here's the thing. Twitter does suck, but it's also awesome. Because for me as a sports fan and a sports announcer, and like, it's great for bringing all the sports information you want into one place.
Yeah.
If I could just weed out some of the ridiculous stuff, it'd be a much better place. You know, like I like being on there on NFL Sunday and things coming through, and I like being on there to communicate with CFL fans all the time.
Information,
things
highlights.
like that. And yeah, it's all so easy.
Yes.
But at the same time, it's got to be the most toxic place on the planet. The unknown texts in and says, "Hey boys, I missed the game last night due to hockey. How did Skinner perform? I feel that Pickard has outperformed Skinner. Do you think Knobloch would entertain starting Pickard in game 1 of the season? I want Skinner to succeed because the team succeeds. I just don't like what I've seen so far in the preseason." Is there any way Pickard starts game 1? That's basically what he's asking.
They have 2 preseason. Probably not. I mean, I'm sure there is. Obviously, injury would be a situation where Pickard would have to start game 1. How did Skinner perform? He was okay. You know, I that Forbert goal that was disallowed, it was kind of soft, but them's the rules. The redirection that I talked about earlier, the Coots goal, is that his fault? The Ratu goal was a bad... Atu Ratu, because the Y is supposed to be a U pronunciation.
Oh my goodness.
I know, it's confusing.
David Tomaszek thing again.
Now we're going on the Tomaszek.
That was a bad
train,
bounce.
Which is fine.
For sure. Off of Frederick.
Frederick he bobbled it, and then he just took the shot, sniped it over his shoulder. I still don't know if you're 6'4", 6'5", why a puck beats you high over the shoulder, but that continues to happen. And that was a great shot. The broadcast guys said it too. They're like, perfect shot. It was. And then the one-timer was a perfect cross seam. Great one-timer by Lettermacki. Or Leckermacki.
Leckermacki.
Pardon me.
It's two T's, though. They sound like a K.
Yeah.
I'm kidding. It's just some of these pronunciations are ridiculous.
Skinner was okay. And I think you as a fan base, media, probably his team, you just want to see him minimize the early goals, the soft goals.
Which he didn't, there's no early goal yesterday.
There was no early goal to help them build up a lead. And that's the importance of the team collectively, its mindset game to game. If you can't depend on your goalie to at least keep you tied and allow you to build up a lead, that's a problem. And that has happened in the past. Yesterday, as an example, despite perceived bad goals, good, whatever you want to call them, he did allow them time, and it was the big dogs who got all the points and goals. He did allow them time to go and get them, and then they had to hang on to the lead and had to be closer than it actually should have been. But I don't see Pickard starting ahead of Skinner for game one. I think both guys probably get one more start. And the Oilers didn't... If you're a Canucks fan and you're like, oh, we barely sent anybody there, and we held the Oilers outside the big guys, or we dominated them, it's like the Oilers didn't really play a good lineup either. I don't know. There's
There's
teams.
no good lineups in the preseason until maybe the final game. Not even the final game, because then they're just like, oh, I'm done. Maybe the second final
so
game.
Canucks fans, if that 4-3 loss makes you feel good for some reason, enjoy.
D. White over on the Nasty Chat says, why are we not giving our rookies a chance to play with 29 and 97 in the preseason? This is exactly why the Oilers didn't realize Holloway was a top six forward. It is so boring. And Tango says, you know what? Just do it and hope that a second line emerges. And I guess maybe that's what they're hoping.
Maybe.
That a second line can emerge. Do you think Howard's here to start the season?
I think so. I think he's been quiet.
Yeah, I don't think he's done anything to make us sit here and go, oh, he should definitely be on the team.
Right.
But I think he'll probably be on the team by default as hot young guy they traded for in the offseason. Let's hope we can make something out of him early.
And stick with the plan.
Right? That's
yes.
I think that's probably what'll happen.
With him, the way it's going with just results-wise and performance, I feel like it's kind of going to lean towards the Rutger-McGroarty thing, where you try him out in the first 10 games. Does he have it, or does he need seasoning? And instead of being like, yes, he's here for the year, he's going to be a key component of this team this season, I think a bit of what we've seen is indicating that, no, there's work to be done. There is a learning curve that, he has not mastered, and that's fine. He's 20 years old. Or 21, whatever it is. But on the other side, though, Dusty, in a positive light, Savoy is ready.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Savoy has shown that.
Yeah.
And it's been confirmed just through his performance and what he's been able to do, his comfort level when he's out there, confidence. And that's okay. Everybody develops at a different rate. And one guy's played a year of pro. Another guy needs, or looks like he might need seasoning. Who knows? Maybe Howard gets into one of these two last games or both of them, and something clicks and he pops off. Unlikely, but yeah, I think we see Ike Howard to start, and then they can just assess it in 5 to 10 game increments. And if he gets sent down, there probably will be people that be like, "Whoa, you traded a good prospect, and this guy's nothing. Way to go, Oilers! Typical." No, he's going to need time. But Tomaszek is a pleasant surprise, in my opinion.
Seems like they've got him as third line center written all over it here, eh? Don't you think? Is that
he might be. I mean, they continue to play him at center, so that's an indicator. And he's looked comfortable, and I think that's the difference between a 29-year-old that's played almost a decade or has played a decade of pro hockey to a 20-year-old that's coming out of NCAA. It's that experience and the knowledge and the confidence and old man strength and that all combined. So there's been some good, there's been some questionable, there's been some bad, but I think this preseason we've seen a lot of good stuff.
All right, you can chime in. You can text us at 780-218-9990. Now we get to your Popeye spicy headlines here in a second. Duck Dad over in the Nasty Chat says, looking to fill out an NHL fantasy league featuring EST Nasties. Have 4 spots left. Reach out to Duck Dad for that one. D. White says, does Tomaszek need to clear waivers? And I believe the answer to that is
yes.
Is it yes?
I believe so.
I'm double checking. Yeah, double check on that one. I think he's exempt.
Is he?
Yeah, that's what I thought I saw online yesterday.
Okay.
While I was wading through people.
Pardon me while I brush up on my new CBA.
I can't believe you don't know your late 20s European guys coming over.
Yep. That's my bad.
All right. So Popeye Spicy Headlines. Podkolzin is expected to be back with the team tomorrow, right, Tommy?
Yes,
is that okay?
That's good. Awful situation, obviously.
Yeah.
Tomaszek, exempt. Correct.
Trying to think, just with Podkolzin coming back, and if Howard makes the team as well, if Draisaitl's on the left side, I'm just trying to think how the lineup works if you're going to find a spot for Howard.
Yeah.
So how does it could it be like this?
Let's hear it.
This is what's just sitting at daily face-off right now.
Okay.
McDavid with Frederick and Draisaitl, Nuge with Tomaszek and Howard, Henrique with Savoy and Mangiapane, Philp with Kapanen and Podkolzin. Now, I bring this up because Matthias Janmark is not in there. And we know the coaching staff loves Matthias Janmark.
I have to have a talk with the daily face-off people if they're leaving Matthias Janmark off the roster.
What are we doing here?
Come on.
But, I mean, from a coaching staff perspective, Matthias Janmark always usually ends up in this roster.
Yes.
So, if he's going to be in there, who comes out if not Howard?
Okay. I think like this is obviously projected. So that second line, I don't see happening outside of Nugent Hopkins being the second line.
Yeah. I'm just looking at like the names, right? The 12 names right there right now.
Yep. So we'll start, let's leave the top line where it's at. Let's leave Ryan Nugent Hopkins here at second line center. This is going off the projected lineup from Daily Faceoff. Ike Howard, I still think would probably be put on like the third line. I could see Mangiapane being up on the second line. I could see Podkolzin being on the fourth line. And then I could see Savoy being on that second line. All right? And Tomaszek, third line center.
Where they have Henrique.
Where Henrique is currently slotted in. I could also see a situation where Podkolzin is on the left side of the second line with Nugent Hopkins.
And Savoy?
I like that.
Haven't had a chance to see that yet.
Because that gives that line a little bit of...
Need more preseason games so we can fit that in, so we can get a look at that.
And we have 2 more. So, but I think ideally, Howard is not a fourth line left winger or fourth line winger at all. He's somewhere in the top 9, playing 10 to 12 minutes a night. If Tomaszek continues to track well in preseason and he's played center the entire time, then I could see Henrique sliding over to one of the wings, right side, left side, whatever. And then I've liked Philp more than I've liked Lazar, just in terms of what they've been able to do so far. Kapanen is going to be there. You could see Kapanen moonlight up and down the right side, as we've seen in the past. This coaching staff, that's another thing. They like Kapanen. They speak highly of him. They utilize him at times in elevated positions. So this current projected lineup that Daily Faceoff has, I don't think that bottom 9 is going to look the same as how it sits right now. Mangiapane could end up on the right side of the second line as well.
Yeah, that's what I was kind of thinking too. Is just as you were talking through that.
Yeah, I think he's had an okay preseason. To be honest with you, like, has he been like a shooting star in the preseason? No, but he's been around long enough that, like Joaquin summed it up. He said, after I played a period in the preseason, I was like, okay, I'm ready for the regular season. Let's go.
Yeah.
I feel like it's the same way for guys that have been through 10 training.
For me, if they really like Howard, you could go Nuge, Howard, Mangiapane.
Yeah.
And then Savoy plays with Tomasek. Or actually, Nuge, Mangiapane, Savoy.
Yeah.
And then Tomasek centers Howard and Henrique.
Sure.
And then Janmark, Kapanen, and Podkolzin rotate in around Philp.
Yeah. I think Janmark is in. I think, and Philp, I forgot about Janmark in that little diatribe. But Philp is essentially playing for the 13th, 14th forward spot.
So do you think on opening night, even after a pretty good preseason, but once again, he's playing against a lot of guys that he would have played with or played against in the American League last year in the preseason. You know, like we know he's a good American League player.
Sure.
Do you think they possibly start Janmark between Podkolzin and Kapanen?
Sure.
And then Philp's your 13th forward.
They could do that.
Philp and Lazar.
Yeah. And
now Philp's been winning some faceoffs and he's a righty.
He scored a nice goal.
That's helping. Yeah.
Skates well. I think he moves well too. The other thing, and again, this goes back to the Howard discussion, depending on how things go for Ike Howard in the early part, we could see him get sent down potentially, and that allows a Philp to stay up and either play wing or center, just depending on what they need. Do you want two guys that could play center that are right shot? 3 with Lazar? So it gives you options and flexibility. Options and flexibility and depth is important. But there's a couple of things it hinges on, and one of it is the performance of Ike Howard. And so we'll see how that goes. But yeah, with Tomasek playing all these games at center,
it'd be pretty ridiculous of them to just throw him at the wing after playing him in center the entire preseason.
Yeah, hey, the last 3 weeks you've played good at center. Let's put you on the right side today. Odd. Especially if you're telegraphing what you're going to do, Chris Knobloch and the coaching staff, i.e. using McDavid with Draisaitl to start the year and Frederick. So that's how I feel about this current setup that Daily Faceoff has. Nothing wrong with it. It's just there's some reasoning as to why it'll probably be much different come opening night.
All right, 780-218-9999, 780-218-9999. Sobkirk says Tomasek is the easy pick to stay up until Hyman is back. I would much rather see Savoy and Ike get a good long look this year.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
yep.
I mean, either Tomasek works or he doesn't, so I'd probably want to see him a lot more here in the early going and see if it's actually going to be a fit, and if not, then you find something, because maybe he helps you more so this year than an Ike Howard could. I'm a big Savoy guy. Fair. I think Savoy's going to contribute here if given the right opportunity. But good a guy like Tomasek who comes in with all the pro experience that he has, it's not crazy to think that he could actually help this current team. Like wasn't he in Hyman's spot on the power play?
Yeah.
So they obviously, I mean, if he's going to be in Hyman's spot on the power play, and we'll see how it is come opening night, they obviously really love the guy, and the rest of the team, like those big boys, are confident in his ability to have some nice touch around the net, which he showed on the one Szymanski goal in the corner. Remember, quick little one
knocked
tap,
it down, backhand, cheeky backhand pass. Yeah, that was a nice goal, a nice play by Tomasek. Now he's answered some of the questions that we've had so far, but I think even for him, there's still a wait and see kind of game by game. How does he adapt? Is he still playing like a guy?
Like Tomasek?
Yeah, I think.
You think there's a chance that he's just sent down to start the year?
No, not to start the year. I was going to say,
because the fan base is crazy. It is.
No.
Would be furious over that.
No, I think he's done enough.
Yeah,
he's going to start the year here. But when you get into the regular season and the play gets tougher and you're playing against mostly guys that have been in the NHL, there's going to be some rookies, sure. There will be a few guys like Tomasek who have been in Europe that have come over. But even for a guy like him, you're still watching with a keen eye to see how he adapts as things get better. But I think right now, given the situation that the Oilers are in, he's done enough to earn that opening night game and start.
These are your Popeyes spicy headlines. One more thing to discuss there. Popeyes starting today. Get the 3-piece bone-in chicken pack for just $8. Just $8. You know that these are big, thick, juicy pieces of chicken. You get 3 of them for just $8. It's a very good deal at all local Popeyes right now. It's the $8 3-piece bone-in chicken deal right now at Popeyes, all of their locations. It is September 29th. I think the very first text that we had today that rolled in a little while ago. Let me sort through these. Maybe it was over on the chat. Anywhere, somewhere said it was September 29th. It's time, McDavid. It's time to sign that extension.
Yeah. Well, yes. Please.
I mean, he will have to talk about it again before the season starts if it's not done, right?
Of course.
Like opening day morning.
Yep.
Probably brought right to the forefront and then maybe tries to tuck it away. It's been pretty quiet recently. I know Elliott's talked a bit about if it gets done, it could come in at a lower number than many people are expecting. I've seen other people in the market speculating like 14.5-ish.
No, it's
which I just don't see a world where that actually happens unless he's the all-time team guy and is like, let's get some more pieces in here. I don't see a world where he comes in at Draisaitl's number or less.
Not a chance.
So are you expecting any news on this in the next 9 days before the season starts?
I'm going to stick with what I've been saying all along. I think something gets announced before the start of the season. If I'm wrong, so be it, whatever. But that's just my prediction. The fact that it's quiet doesn't really bother me. Not that I get bothered by negotiations or anything like that. And again, I always point back to when you're at the rink and you're talking to staff and you're around the players. If something's not right or kosher and there's an issue that's as big as him potentially leaving, you usually catch on to stuff like that.
There's a calmness around the building.
Yeah.
Man.
I mean, for example, and this is a little thing, this the split squad game. The only 2 players that I saw, like veteran Oilers, that were at the game in Edmonton. I know there was guys that were playing down in Calgary, but Leon and Connor were sitting together in their booth, and then they were mingling with everyone in the press box when they could have just, watched in the locker room, gone home after a period, had the night off, whatever. So there's stuff like that. I haven't picked up on any trepidation, fear, antsiness yet. Take it for what it's worth, but that's just something. If there's something going on, people get a little tight and a little bit nervous around there.
So we're just waiting for Kaprizov to get a deal done and then top that and everybody's happy and moves on with their life.
Luke Gazdic, yeah, and that's part of it. Luke Gazdic made a point. He compared it to the Spider-Man meme where they're all like pointing at each other, looking at you. And the standoff, it was like Eichel, Kaprizov, McDavid, and he mentioned
Kyle Connor.
Yeah, like they're all static. It's like, well, who's going to go first? Who's going to go first? So I thought that was a funny Marvel reference, Spider-Man reference, and maybe there's some truth to it. So we'll see, but yeah.
I just want to take a quick peek here. I just see NHL Media tweet out 14 rookies to watch this season in the NHL. I haven't looked at it yet. Is there an Oiler rookie on this list?
Sure.
All right, let's find out. Askarov, San Jose Sharks goalie. They're in alphabetical order. Demidov, obviously, he's a heavy favorite to win the Calder.
Yeah, he's great to watch.
Ville Koivunen, Pittsburgh. Ryan Leonard, Washington. In its alphabetical order, we've already gone past H, so Ike Howard's not on this list.
Savoy.
Lev Shunov, Michael Misa, Alexander Nikishin out of Carolina, the Russian defenseman.
Mm-hmm.
Zane Perrick.
Yeah, he's going to be good.
Jesper Wallstead. Oh, maybe it wasn't in alphabetical order because Sam Rinzel and then Matt Savoy.
There you go.
Matt Savoy, Matthew Schaefer, Shabanov, and Jimmy Snuggerud.
Jimmy.
All right, so there you go. Matt Savoy. Matt Savoy made the list. That's nice. That literally just popped up on my feed, so I figured I'd click on it and see if there was an Oilers rookie on there since they're start 5 to begin the year. I think there'll probably be 2 rookies in lineup on opening night.
Yeah, Savoy and Howard.
I think Tomaszek will be in there.
Oh, right, but he's not technically a rookie because he's old.
Yeah, first years, I guess.
First year, yeah.
Yeah. Well, then there would be 3.
Sure.
How worried do you think Stetcher and Emberson should be right now with Lepinen's on the left side. If he was a righty, I think they'd be very worried. But what about Regula? And a lot of people seem to really like what they're seeing from Regula so far.
Now he's got to go and make sure his knee's good and continue to build towards being back in the NHL. In the minors. It's simple. It's not hard. There's no, oh, look at him. Let's put him in. No. He's not taking a spot away from one of those guys. How about Josh Brown getting sent down?
How about that?
Shocking. And by shocking, I'm being completely facetious. There were some people that thought he would make the team this year.
No, there wasn't. There was like 1 or 2 people who thought he'd make the team this year.
That was very wrong.
I wouldn't say some people. Yeah, I mean, I don't know about.
Anyway,
I don't know about that one.
Lepinen and Regula, let them cook in the minors, and then now you have options.
Benny, can you throw the Play Alberta numbers game over there? I was trying to click it with this mouse. I don't know. It wasn't working. Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of strange.
I like this text from D. White in the meantime.
Okay.
Says, my wife is praying 97 doesn't resign. I told her if he leaves, I am not renewing my seats. That money will go towards vacations.
Okay, say they're not going to renew their seats?
If Connor doesn't resign.
Look, man, if Connor doesn't resign, a lot of people are going to be pissed and probably not renew their seats.
Probably.
I mean, that's understandable. Poop Stain says, Tommy, will Regula clear waivers?
Probably. Although right shot defensemen are coveted, but I don't think there's enough there right now from him.
That's the thing, though. Lepinen doesn't have to clear, right?
Yeah.
So you can send him down, keep Regula around as your 7.
Yeah,
right.
Although I think, the Oilers pulled a fast one on the Bruins when they plucked him off waivers, and there was a plan in place in Boston to get him up and running. So maybe they'd want to snipe him back, but if you do it at a time where there's a plethora of guys available, and there's guys that actually have way more of a track record in the NHL, and Boston really wanted him back, or somebody really wanted him, they'd have other options to consider. I would assume he gets through waivers. There's also the question mark of his knee. When you blow a knee out, it takes a lot of time to get back to being where you were before it happened. That's going to be the same for Järventie.
Yeah, it's going to take him a little while too, eh? All right, let's dive into the numbers game for Play Alberta. I got a few different plays up at Play Alberta right now. Play Alberta is the title sponsor of all of Edmonton Sports Talk. Dive on our EST specials page here. We'll have a new code coming at Play Alberta on October 1st.
Yep.
And it should be, it'll be another good one for all you nasties who are following along, all you ESTers, all you lock shoppers. Here's what we've got up for tonight's game. We've got J.K. Dobbins to score a touchdown. Garrett Wilson over 4.5 receptions. That's plus 155. And our lock shop partner parlay, Tyreek Hill over 65.5 receiving yards. Cortland Sutton over 64.5. That is plus 280. And then we still have that McDavid Draisaitl parlay. That is up. Connor McDavid, 36-plus regular season goals. Draisaitl, 40-plus regular season goals. If they both hit 36 and 40, that'll be plus 121 that you can get on as well. And you can hop on those over on the EST specials page at Play Alberta.
I'll be sprinkling, but yesterday I did the Sunday Nighter. I needed a Packers win over 3.5 touchdowns, and they got that huge 4th down conversion in overtime, and then they get into the red zone and do diddly frickin' squat and have to kick the field goal.
They almost blew it. Throwing it to the back of the end zone there. 1 second left when he was trying to target Matt Golden.
Yes. They were so lucky. Just, you do so much to get yourself there, and then you absolutely soil the sheets in the red zone. Anyway, whatever. It was a $5 bet, but I was like, you idiots. Anyway, that's just me venting. Let's get back to the
No, I like it. Usually I'm the one venting about missing a bet.
Well, I'm going to hop on the play of the day, right?
Yeah, that's a good one. They will have new boosted odds all season long on the Edmonton Oilers. We'll dive into that a little bit more October 1st with our partners over at Play Alberta. Tommy, if I was to reach out to Play Alberta right now and say, hey, listen, if Frederick's going to be spending the year playing with McDavid and Gazzola, which he won't, because 3 games in, they'll be mixing up the lines again, if not sooner. What would you put the over at on Frederick goals this year? Let's say he doesn't spend the whole year with them,
but he gets a good look.
Gets a good look. He's there until Hyman comes back, and then maybe sprinkled in after or something.
Okay,
or he gets to ride shotgun with one of them. Once they're split back up. There's a good chance that if they like him this much, he sticks around the top 6 for a lot of the season.
Yeah, and he scored that goal. Yes, that's how that type of goal he scored last night, where he dug a puck out and slammed it.
He should score 15 of those this year.
Yeah, but I'd still only put him at like 18.5.
Yeah.
With the
That's
scenario
probably reasonable. My initial guess was going to be 17.5.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, actually, I was thinking
somewhere right around there, 17, 18.
But yeah, his career high is 18. He could set a new career high, but I don't know. I love when Dave Tippett used to say puck stuff.
Yeah.
His puck stuff isn't great.
That was a big Tippett thing, wasn't it?
Yes. Puck stuff.
All right, let's get to a few more of your text messages.
Excuse me.
Sobkirk asking if any thoughts we have on this 50-50 story. And it became a story to the point where the Oilers
had to put out a pretty scathing
statement. They are adamant that it's they basically admitted it is a story because they didn't just ignore it. But your thoughts on? I read the article. I read the Oilers' response to it, basically saying they didn't deny anything, but they said we are raising so much more money.
Yeah,
and to do that, it takes investment. Look, it looks sketchy as hell. It looks rich people getting richer, but also helping charities at the same time.
Yeah.
I'm sure they're not the only one that does this, but it was disappointing reading that. And then, they spun it, I thought, very well in their statement too, saying, well, this is how much we used to make for charities. This is how much we're taking now. This is how much money it takes to, handle the back end of all this and make it and drive it up. So very interesting conversation here.
Yeah, and I read the report. I read the rebuke. I think that there is a level of transparency to that because it's gambling, and the AJLC has to be involved, right? It has to be regulated.
Yeah, they said it's very, very regulated.
Yeah. So, and they went line by line in their rebuke about where the money is allocated and when it comes in, how it is distributed. If what they're saying is all 100% accurate and correct, then okay. And yes, they're raising more at the end of the day for charities, which is great. It's not funny, but there were rumblings 10 years ago before the new format of how, 50-50s were done, where was the money going. If it feels like there are some who want to attack it, maybe they have some information that they believe is wrong or how the process is conducted is wrong, and they think that there's something that illicit is happening. But as if OEG and the EOCF and AGLC and the third-party company that they used to make a 50-50 that was in-house Alberta-wide every night,
by being able to do it online,
if they can show and prove and be like, here's the process, then all those arguments or perceptions are invalid. And at the end of the day, you're raising money for charity. That's the important thing. I don't know, Dusty. Like it was pretty scathing the way that OEG reacted. And I know they get their claws up only every now and then. And that was one where the claws were up and out. And they slashed back. Because charity is supposed to be for the betterment of people who need it. So I have faith and hope that OEG, EOCF, and all that is doing things the right way. I will trust them, knowing the people I do over there. So it's I don't know what to make of all this.
19.6% of the Oilers 50-50 goes to charity. Maple Leafs are 42.2%. The Habs are, so none of it's 50-50. It's the Habs are 36.9%. Winnipeg Jets 34.8%. Now the Oilers bring in a much, much, much larger number than all of those other organizations. Yeah, I mean, it's tough to sit here and have a hot take on it when I don't understand all the ins and outs of it. I read the initial report and I thought, well, this isn't a great look. But then I saw the response and I was like, okay, they're trying to justify how they've gone about it.
Yeah.
I'm not even sure I want to dive into how charities use a lot of their money, to be honest with you. You know what I mean? Like it's, and
did you,
how many of you actually go buy a 50-50 ticket and go, I'm very happy. 50% of no, you're buying it to try to become a millionaire.
That's true.
Like let's,
hey,
it's all about the money, whether you're trying to win it or you're giving it to the charity. It's,
the intentions are very selfish.
I would like to see articles about other teams and their usage and how much they pay for the back end of it.
Yeah. What's good is that at least now we know that whenever you buy a 50-50, a donation isn't being made to the Human Fund.
Classic Human Fund reference.
That's two Seinfeld references today.
Just killing it. This one says, guys, I think they're definitely conservative with the fact that Cates owns the company, Win 50. He has voting control of Win 50. I read that in an article too. And they're taking a big chunk of the 50-50. That amount seems somewhat high, no? Haji says they should just rename it the 50-30-20. 50% goes to the winner, 30% goes to the operations of running the 50-50, and then 20% goes to the charity.
Yeah. It's like you own a business that gets its supply from another business you own or is under the same corporate umbrella, and that happens a lot.
Under corporate umbrella, but still looks sketchy to the public.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like,
yep. Oh, I know.
There's legal way. Look, I think it being legal but looking sketchy happens all the time.
Exactly.
And that's how I would probably describe this. Are they breaking the law on anything? No. Does it look great? No. Are you still going to buy your tickets for your chance to win $3 million? Yes.
We live in a province where Babas buy their 4-year-old grandkids a pack of 50 scratch tickets for their birthdays.
I once won $100 on a scratch ticket.
You were ineligible if you were under 18.
Actually, yeah, my mom had to cash it.
See, there you go.
I guess me playing that was illegal at the time.
Albertans are fiends for a good 50-50.
I think I got a 50. I think I got it was like for my birthday or for Easter or something. And I scratched it and I didn't realize that I won. I put it into the garbage and then I looked as it was sitting in the garbage and I was like, wait a second, there's $100.
That's a winner.
And ever since then, I've been using my game sense very regularly over at Play Alberta.
Well done, sir.
And it's worked out. It's worked out very well.
Yeah,
so far.
Anyway, hey man, if it, like you said, if it's legal and they're above board and it follows all the parameters it needs to, but it looks sketchy, yeah. And then at the end of the day, if there are charities and people in need getting help and more help, considering how much it's gone up in terms of just sheer volume and number, then that's the best part.
Yeah, I mean that is the best part. It kind of sounds like a lot of people are making more money because the number's gone up. But in the bottom line, if the charities are making more money, then I'm sure the charities are happy.
But
even if it is a 50-30-20.
If a corporation that already has a lot of money is making more money. That definitely sullies a lot of it. Unfortunately.
780-218-9999 is where you can get in. OEG, Saskatoon Muncher says, OEG needs to play. He's a winner. Stuart Skinner. Yeah, that's a good team. What's coming up on EST Afternoons here, Benny?
Yeah, so obviously, like, not short of any storylines in sports in general. I mean, this past weekend was insane. So, we're going to be talking, obviously, Elks upsetting the Riders on Saturday. Oilers preseason final week this week. Jays clinching of division. Ryder Cup. Euros taking down the U.S. I mean, Rory's comments over the weekend were pretty spicy, which was good. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So, we're not short of any topics today. So it will be action-packed.
And for people wondering why you're hearing Benny, it's because I fired Zach over the weekend.
Surprise.
Just kidding. Zach's got a couple of days off here. He'll be back on Thursday, but Benny will slide in with our afternoon shows here today on Edmonton Sports Talk. Collingwood Rob says, guys, 2 years ago, I was at a Las Vegas Raiders home game. The 50-50 take home with a $65K attendance was only $48,000.
Yep.
Yeah, 50-50 is different in Canada,
yes.
But 50-50 is really different here in Edmonton, maybe in more ways than one. But yeah, it's a monster. They've created a monster.
Yep.
There's no doubt about it.
Yep.
Charities are making more. We'll see where the rest of the money goes, but the amount that they've increased for charities through the new program, it's probably from a charity perspective, it's night and day for them.
That component, I'm very
that part of it,
glad gets the benefit.
Yeah.
And
I mean, it would look a lot better if Cates' name wasn't on the Win 50, I guess.
I know.
But
that I'm not saying this does not justify it, but that type of thing where one of your businesses feeds into another is common. You see it.
Yeah, man. Look at the Crack Pack and Edmonton Sports Talk, you know?
Guilty.
It's the same thing. I'm guilty. Come get me.
Yeah.
But that's not the case, actually. They're two separate entities, just saying.
Good point. Yes. Yeah. And then on the football side, I love that 50-50s at Elks games goes to minor football, which I know, and talking to Jay especially, says that helps keep a lot of programs going throughout the year, every year.
All right, EST Afternoons. Hernan Salas is back, and his hair looks a little different. Asked me if he got a haircut, but he says he just didn't put a ton of product in it. And
it looks like he's got it looks darker today.
He said he's going Kramer. He could do Kramer hair. Like
he can.
He said if he grows his hair, it just comes like straight up, which would be pretty cool. I'd like to see that. All right, that's going to do it for the Oil Stream, brought to you by our partners over at Boston Pizza and in part by Popeyes, and of course, Play Alberta, the title sponsor of Edmonton Sports Talk. And make sure if you're playing at Play Alberta, please use your game sense. EST Afternoons is on the way. For Tom Gazzola, I am Dustin Nielson. We'll talk to you Oil Stream Wednesday right here on EST.